What is up, everybody? Happy 4th of July. Hope you're all having some fun today and enjoying this hot summer day. Just remember, taxation without representation is theft. Let's get into it. Got a little blunt going right here, and we're going to talk about all CBD today. I also want to let you guys know I'm not a doctor, not a healthcare professional, I'm not a healthcare consultant. I'm just a cannabis consultant, cannabis educator, and trying to bring you guys information that is not my words, but words of others. So I just want to get that out of the way so no one gets confused trying to think that I'm the one coming out with this research and shit. This is all doctors and stuff. All right. So today we're going to talk about CBD, cannabidiol. I know we're all familiar with THC. I've been talking about that a lot, but CBD is just as popular and just as important. Actually, CBD is legal pretty much all across the country and in a lot of parts of the world as well. Only a few parts of the world that are still prohibiting and restricting it from the people, but for the most part, all across America, it's legal, and you can use CBD for a variety of ailments. I do not recommend buying CBD from a Circle K or a convenience store that is kind of shifty and shady. I would recommend buying it from reputable, reliable sources. And we're going to talk about that in a minute too. All right. Once again, my name is David Yrigoyen. I go by MMJ_David on social media and YouTube. I'm with Natural Healing Care Products, Natural Healing Care Center, shopcleanhemp.com, and we do unravel, in-house CBD line, guaranteed to bring relief. We'll show you a little bit more about that too. So cannabidiol, CBD. Not only have we seen it help people with a variety of ailments, there's a lot of science out there to support what it can help with as well. Anxiety, depression, seizures, Parkinson's disease, and other neurodegenerative diseases, along with bone growth. And I'm going to show you guys that too, because that was the one that gets me right there. I've seen people use it for broken bones and actually recover a lot quicker with CBD. And I talked about that in the last podcast. So I want to show you some actual information about it and direct some time for that. And also know that CBD not only helps with different ailments as THC, but it is also non-psychoactive. So you're not going to get the undesired effects that you get with THC from CBD. And we're going to show you how to avoid that as well. So let's go ahead and get into some science stuff. All right. So if you do a basic search of CBD for bone growth, you'll come up with a lot of links and research. And it's actually funny because the first thing that comes up, man, they have really good search engine optimization, is a restaurant. But this restaurant is big on CBD education information. So they have a lot of information about it that's actually supported by this research I'm going to show you. So you can go to Science Daily. This one has no bones about it. Cannabis may be used to treat fractures. You get down to the bottom, it'll show you some of the research and supportive documentation that will support that claim. This was done in Tel Aviv, so this was done in Israel. As a lot of people in the industry know, Israel is leading the way in cannabis research and CBD research. Actually, Dr. Machula is the one that helped discover, or he didn't discover, someone else discovered, but he helped actually dial in and discover more about the science behind the cannabinoids and how they work with the endocannabinoid system. But we knew about cannabinoids before that from other doctors. So they got to get their shout outs too, but I don't know their names, so it's unfortunate. I'll put it in the actual end product when I get the podcast up on YouTube. So you can see right here that they found CBD alone makes bones stronger during healing, enhancing the maturation of the collagenous matrix. So that's some science talk right there. Like I said, not me. Those doctors right there tell you the report. Said Dr. Gabbett. Doctor. Then you can go to this study right here from the National Library of Medicine. Cannabinoids' effect on bone formation and bone healing. And you get right here recent findings. And it'll tell you cannabinoid receptors CB1 and CB2 are expressed in bone and regulate bone homeostasis in rodents and humans. CBD treatment was shown to enhance fracture healing in rats. So they're doing more research to show how CBD can help with bone growth and bone fractures. Like I said, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen people, broken wrists, come in, put topicals on, take the drops of tinctures, and they get the relief from it. Here's another study right here. Cannabinoid use in musculoskeletal illness. So this one actually intrigued me a little bit because it talks about the recent findings where cannabidiol, CBD, may increase bone healing, whereas delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, and that's not THCA, tetrahydrocannabinolic acid like we talked about last week. This is actually the decarboxylized delta-9 THC, is a major psychoactive ingredient, likely inhibits bone metabolism and repair. So that was kind of interesting to me because I have seen the people that have been using it for broken bones focus only on CBD. I don't know if they did the research to find this out on their own or if they were just led to it. But I do know that they were used primarily CBD and maybe only smoking some cannabis for acute pain relief. But the CBD promotes bone growth where THC, delta-9 THC can inhibit it. That actually was pretty fascinating to me because the plant, there's the different parts of it, it's made up of so many different compounds that they all have their different effects. And we're finding out how we can actually do strain selective growing to have some of these cannabinoids higher or more balanced than other cannabinoids. So that's why Dr. Johnson touching on high THC is not the way. This is more proof of that. And I know people in the industry that I work with that do not use THC from cannabis at all. All they use is CBD. They actually make CBD products and they get full relief from that. So that was very intriguing to me. But as I also mentioned, CBD for seizures. Now, we've seen it in the office. People with CBD alone, because they're coming in for their kids get relief from CBD. We know about Epidiolex. Type that in right here. So Epidiolex is actually a pharmaceutical grade and pharmaceutical prescription CBD product that they sell at pharmacies that has been FDA approved because of the relief it gives people with seizures. Now, I'm not recommending Epidiolex because the way it's made is in a completely synthetic form that gets away from the whole material of the plant and the whole benefits of the plant. It's pretty much like what we're doing right now with pharmaceuticals. And I tell people there's natural ways you could take these supplements without having to take the synthetic form. So I wouldn't recommend Epidiolex. I'm just using it as an example because it is FDA approved and being sold right now to people. So you can see from a basic search, I did CBD seizures, little kid with oil, because if you go to the videos, you'll see all these videos of young children actually benefiting from CBD and minimizing their seizures immediately. So, like I said, man, these aren't my words. I didn't go up here and hack Google and put all these videos up. Like, these are videos from all around people, all around the world and the country, showing the benefits of CBD and cannabis. So you can see right there, there's studies done, CBD for seizures. You research or you Google that, you can see all the research coming in. Even right here, reduces seizures in many treatment-resistant forms of pediatric epilepsy. I've already seen it, man. I've seen people come in that the neurologists are saying that their medication cannot help with the seizures. These people are putting on weight from water retention medications, having just discomfort. Their quality of life is debilitating from these medications. Then they get on CBD or even cannabis, depending on the type of seizures they're having. Relief instantly where they get off those medications. So I've already seen it with my own eyes. Then you can see right here, CBD for neurodegenerative diseases. Now, I went and did a talk a few years ago with the Multiple Sclerosis Association. The nurse over there that they had on the panel, they were hoping we could have a debate about the pros and the cons of cannabis and CBD. It was funny because they set up the lady from the MS Foundation to be in a position where they didn't know if she was going to support cannabis and CBD or not. So they were hoping to have a good argument. But the lady and her doctor friends, the nurse and her doctor friends, actually from their clinic already saw the benefits of CBD and cannabis. So they supported cannabis use for neurodegenerative diseases. Their only problem with it was it being abused, which any medication can be abused. And they wanted to make sure that children weren't being overdosed with it or over consuming high amounts of THC in early periods of life, which I agree with. Anything before 5 years old, they're saying you can start to develop addictive tendencies. So you don't want to expose anyone to anything addictive, especially sugar, before 5 years old. You know, they're getting kids all hopped up on sugar and cheese with pizza and candy. By the time they're in their teens, they're full-on addicts, and then you try to cut that out, it's hard. I've gone through my own sugar withdrawals and pizza carb withdrawals, and a lot of the good pizza places from our childhood memories load their tomato sauce up with sugar and their breading up with sugar, so you're getting like double whammies with it too. But yeah, anything at a young age you want to be careful with exposure. The CBD, on the plus side, doesn't really have that negative stigma behind it being exposed early, because it's not really affecting the psychosis of the person. It is helping with mellowing them out, creating homeostasis and anti-anxiety, but it's not something that will be dependent on later on, and they're easy to wean off of it if you choose to stop using the CBD. So we talk about that. Let's go ahead and get us back on. So I showed you that. I talked about the relief, the seizures, the bone growth. When you're consuming CBD, it's not going to take as long to take effect as the THC, because you're getting different kind of relief with it. And the way people are consuming it are typically in tincture or capsule form, so it does take effect a little quicker. But you want to make sure you're using quality CBD. Like I said, you don't want to be going to Circle K's and places like that, and buying these products and having all this expectation, and then get discouraged when you find out it doesn't work or it's not giving you the relief because it is Circle K CBD. And that's why I want to talk a little bit about making sure to use clean products, clean CBD products. And I use that word clean because that's going to be the future of people shopping for beauty products, hemp products, natural products, food, and everything's going to have to be clean. You're going to want to make sure that it's free of certain pesticides, that it was grown with the right intentions. Whatever the exposures are to it, you want to make sure that it was done cleanly and not contaminating the product that's supposed to be helping you. And I'm going to show you guys right here too a little bit about the difference with hemp CBD. Medicinal hemp and industrial hemp. So industrial hemp, they're growing in these stalks that are just vertical, and all they're trying to do is get as much stock as they can because they're not really worried about the colas or the buds or any of that. They want the stalks for the fibers. So that right there is grown in such a vertical position. And you can see all the farming right here. None of these have any substance to them. They're just vertical, one cola plants. That's industrial hemp right there. Now you go to medicinal hemp farms and you can see the difference. They're bushy. They actually been tended to more. They have some space to grow. So the buds, which is actually the fruit of the plant, can give they can get more of them. They can produce more. They're not just trying to go for stalks and fiber. They're actually going for the fruit of the plant. So you can see right here in medicinal hemp farms and how they're looking. That's the difference between medicinal hemp and industrial hemp. So I can't speak for the quality of the hemp they're using or the CBD they're using at some of these stores like Circle K, but I do know that there's a lot of places around the world pumping out industrial hemp, and because they have such large quantities of it, they get those colas which compound, and they're able to make certain products like the oils and the extracts. That stuff right there isn't coming from the best quality hemp. So you're going to want to find stuff made with medicinal hemp CBD. That's the products we use over here at shopcleanhemp.com. We actually use oils and extracts that are made from medicinal hemp, and the people growing it have the right intentions and are growing it like it's medicine. So we really, really recommend using clean hemp products. I mentioned this word before, phytoremediation. That's a process where a plant can take on toxins from air, water, soil, any other element it's exposed to. It could take on those toxins and actually regenerate clean environments for them, but it takes on that toxin and won't show any sign of weakness or contamination. And I know that people are using that stuff to make extracts, so you want to be careful, especially when vaporizing the cannabis cartridges or CBD cartridges. Any cartridges, you want to make sure you're using clean material, because that stuff can compound and it can cause toxicity issues. So you can start to get toxic shock or toxic reaction, not toxic shock, but toxic reactions from it. So you definitely want to use clean cannabis and clean CBD products. And you also focus on full spectrum CBD products, not CBD isolates. Distillates, I've seen help people. They're more structured to be closer to mainly CBD and minimal THC. It's the step down from an isolate without going through that full-on process they do with the surfactants and everything. But the distillates, I've seen help people, especially distillate made capsules. But when it comes to tinctures, I would recommend full spectrum tinctures and using it with just the drops under your mouth. That'll give you the most relief. And it's easier to titrate and dose. When you're dosing CBD, the recommendations, and you can find this all online, is to stay within about 10 to 20 milligrams for your first dose. And then you could take that 2 to 3 times a day. We have some people taking 40 to 60 milligrams a time, 2 to 3 times a day. And it's not for everybody. If you do have any history of antidepressants or severe depression, you're definitely going to want to ease into it and titrate up, because the CBD, the cannabidiol, is going into your body and into your nervous system, and is trying to repair things as well. And it can make you feel a little disoriented if you take too much at once. So we want to ease you into it if you have history of that. And also, if you're taking any blood thinners, you definitely want to not consume CBD by ingesting it within 90 minutes of your blood thinner. So that was a recommendation from Dr. Johnson with people on blood thinners. So I wanted to share that information too. We talked a little bit last week about ratios, and it's also important with that, because if you're not getting the full relief from the CBD, you can incorporate some cannabis THC and see if that will actually help you more than just the CBD alone or the THC alone. Ratios seem to be the golden area for a lot of people. That 2-to-1 ratio, 4-to-1 ratio is really good. So, 10 milligrams CBD, 5 milligrams THC, or 20 milligrams CBD, 5 milligrams THC. Those right there, those ratios seem to help people a lot. You don't necessarily need a high dosage of CBD unless you're recommended it by a physician, or if you have a tolerance and your body's telling you to take more. It takes thousands and thousands and thousands of milligrams to have any toxic adversity to CBD. So you don't have to worry about taking too much. I mentioned in one of the early podcasts that I went to a talk and the doctors were talking about people with schizophrenia getting relief with 600 milligrams of CBD a day. So there's people taking high quantities and high dosages of CBD and getting relief. So don't be afraid if you do have to take more. That just happens sometimes. And the good thing about CBD is when you decide to stop taking it, you're not going to have huge withdrawals. You're not going to have any problems like you do with other medications. You can just start slowing down how much you're taking, and eventually you won't need to. But unless you're doing it for a specific reason, it is something to maintain. So we at least want to keep our endocannabinoid system activated. Back when livestock was eating hemp leaves and the country was growing hemp abundantly, and they even had hemp tax stickers for people to grow hemp, everyone was feeding it to their livestock. They were feeding the stalk, the leaves, whatever was left over was getting fed to livestock. That livestock was activating their endocannabinoid system with all that material. Then people would eat the livestock, so they would in turn activate their endocannabinoid system through the food they're eating. So now the cannabinoids are going from one source to another and activating endocannabinoid systems in both, keeping them healthy and getting fed nutrients and stuff our body actually needs, opposed to the system we have now where people are eating livestock that is fed hormones and steroids and all these other chemicals. And that's why it's causing issues in people, because it's getting transferred over. So I feel like once we get back to regulating this or legalizing it completely, we'll be able to start feeding animals and even the plants. You can mulch it up and give it back to the plants. That nutrient is going to get back into all of us. we'll start activating our endocannabinoid systems again through nutrition, and we'll start to see people actually being a little healthier without having to be so dependent on medications and other systems. So, that's all out there. Just, you can read about that. That's how they used to feed the livestock. So the livestock was activating their endocannabinoid system. Went back to the blunt today. So pretty much all I had to share with you all. Let me see if I had anything else on this page. No? So I'm going to do a full show where I show you some of our CBD products and how to use them and apply them. There are different ways to consume CBD. There's tinctures, which is at the top of our list of recommendation. It's the quickest absorption for ingesting it because it's getting sublingual absorption. So you're not having to eat it and wait for the whole digestion process to go down. There's topicals is our second method of recommendation. That right there will give you actual specific relief at an area rather than generalized relief like tinctures and edibles. And then we come into the edibles, where we recommend capsules first, then maybe gummies if they have them. I'm still not a big fan about the gummies because of all the sugar and preservatives. Then you can look into like maybe CBD brownies and stuff, but that they're using that for the cannabis market. And I still think it's really novelty. I know it has its place, but for CBD, I think you'll get more relief with capsules and with tinctures. Like I said, maybe the gummies. We don't hear a lot of people give us a lot of good feedback from gummies, but tinctures and edibles seem to be the methods that help the most. Then you can smoke some flower. They actually have the flower like I showed you that they're turning into the extracts, that really good bud flower, the fruit. You can get some of that, and they have smokable CBD now. So I know in Tucson and in Arizona, there's places that sell it. I have a buddy that has a place. I can't remember the name. I'll put it on our post, but they have some CBD flower, and it's really good. It smells good, looks good. I've been meaning to get by and pick some up because you can smoke that, and it's really mellow. It's not going to make you feel as paranoid or anxious like cannabis can do for some people. It's not going to have any of that adverse effect that cannabis THC can have on people. So it's going to be more mellow, more relaxed. It's good for people that are trying to get the edge off without feeling intoxicated. So I'll put those links on the Spotify and YouTube and Rumble. Go check out our Rumble, man. Rumble's pretty cool. They don't censor us, and they don't care if we talk about cannabis. YouTube's all right too, but I know when it comes down to monetizing it, they're going to have their problems. But yeah, check us out on Rumble, Spotify. I'll go ahead and put our links on the podcast. It was great vibing out with y'all tonight. Be safe. Enjoy the fireworks if you see any. Hopefully it doesn't disturb the wildlife too much. And keep fighting for what's right. And don't give up. Let me go ahead and get my plug going. And y'all have a beautiful and blessed.
Assist your pain, anxiety, and depression naturally.
At Natural Healing Care Center, we're here to guide you on your path to wellness.
We'll help you find natural relief through practices like meditation, yoga, medical cannabis certifications, CBD products, and more. Our premium custom rubs and tinctures are crafted from all natural, organic, full-spectrum ingredients. Check our website for more information on our products, services, and our fun in-person events. Assist